Welcome to Daily 5 for Monday, July 24th, 2023. If you follow people who are close watchers of lawsuits involving very rich people or very secretive companies, or just basically any entity that tries to obscure as much as it does from the public, one thing that you will see over and over is that people who follow these cases will say the most beneficial thing in a lawsuit is the things that are revealed by legal compulsion, when they have to do discovery and they have to actually produce emails and communication as there is a legal penalty. Then all of the marketing speak starts to evaporate and you start to get a peek behind the curtain on how things work. And I think we're seeing some version of that right now with the writers/actors strike and the studios. We are starting to see what the studios are trying to angle for in the way that entertainment is made. And in some ways, some misconceptions about actors and how much money they actually make are also kind of coming out as well. Now, I want to preface this by in no way suggesting that anybody should feel necessarily sympathy in terms of what many actors, or at least the well-known ones, actually make. It is ridiculous. Well, it's actually a much bigger discussion, because I know somebody will say, well, look, I'm working 2 jobs just trying to keep my health insurance, and, X actor is up here complaining about the fact that they can barely afford their Malibu home. I agree, but that is a different discussion. That is a larger discussion about inequity and the consolidation of wealth, which I cannot possibly fit into 5 minutes and really isn't the focus of this 5. But I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. But within the context of the strike itself and the entertainment industry, we are starting to get a good idea of why there is so much concern over machine-generated content among writers and actors. Because it is very clear, and this really shouldn't be much of a surprise to anybody, the studio's goal is to crank out as much stuff as they can for as little as possible to maximize the amount of money that they get. And so, of course, it makes sense that they want to use machine generation to create scripts, to generate fake actors through CG for background, that they don't want to pay people to just be a background extra. I am positive that almost every studio, assuming it is cost effective, would rather have a digital performer in almost every single possible thing, because you don't have to worry about their health and safety. You don't have to worry about overtime, labor rules, their union contract, whatevers. You don't have to worry about anything because these people don't exist. And so there are no concerns outside of, okay, let's make sure that, I guess, the thing is long enough to put in a theater. And same thing for writing. You think that trend chasing is bad in movies now, where there's all reboots and everybody's just reusing IP because they think that's what people want? I guarantee you it'll be 1,000 times worse if they put it in the hands of something that doesn't distinguish on the value of creativity and instead looks at raw numbers and says, last month, X number of people watched this thing because it had a nostalgic element to it. So now I'm going to produce something next month that has a nostalgic element to it and see if they come to that. And all you'll get, much like you're seeing with image generation. I mean, I know people will point to these really beautiful examples of machine-generated art and say, oh, these people wrote really beautiful prompts and they created this really wonderful work. And while that may be true, like most other things, 95% of what these machine-generated creations end up with looks all the same, and it's frankly already boring. The one positive is, I do feel like the AI buzz thing is kind of ending. I think a lot of people are kind of past caring. Now, that's not to say that machine-generated models are going away. I certainly wouldn't suggest that. But I do think it is beginning in some ways to recede from the kind of big, super thing that everybody was excited about a couple of months ago. And now it's becoming something where people are pretty aware of the limitations and I think, frankly, are getting a bit bored with the output because it is largely the same. So it will fade into the background, as many people said it would from the beginning. But this is a perfect example of, do you really want this to be the future of your entertainment? Do you really think you're going to get good content? I mean, you don't get a lot of good content as it is. Do you think you're going to get more if it's machine models that barely understand what they're being asked for, trying to figure out what human beings would like? They can't manage good responses to human queries now most of the time. How are they going to manage to create anything then? So, again, not trying to make this as, oh, the poor actors, let's all pass around a hat and give them money. That is certainly not what I'm saying here. But I think it is very interesting to see both sides of these, of what goes into the entertainment that many of us consume. And I think most people don't think about it. And we're getting a rare good window into that. And it has been highly revealing. Later.